A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy, 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Here's a little secret with what I do at the Rod Pedersen Show, and I've made a career of it. I don't care whether you like me or you don't like me, but when you watch my show, I just want you to feel something.
How about that?
Whether you're happy or you're sad or you're angry or you're proud, I just want you to feel something. Because a lot of times you'll read a column or watch a show and say, That's never been the hallmark of what I do. I want to make you think, I want to make you feel something, and it's worked. And if you don't agree with me, I'll be fine.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. How about that?
How about that?
Welcome to the RP Show, everybody, on this Wednesday, January 8th, in the year of our Lord 2021. RP here, Moose DuPont there. You said you're going to get a haircut today, I understand.
I am.
How short you going?
I don't. It'll be a game time decision.
Are you going to Modern Men?
Going to Modern Men.
Okay.
I'll see Jasmine, and she'll kind of say, hey, she can either do something with this and keep it going, or we're going to get rid of it.
Have them put it in a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
Big day here. A lot of our favorite topics coming up today, obviously, like we do every day. It's episode number 394 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. But obviously, we're going to get to the quick six show topics. It's a lot of hockey today, but there's been some big football news. There's some fun things happening in football, so we're going to cover it all today. Not to mention some baseball, too. Our guests include a guy that's become one of our very close friends, Johnny Avello from DraftKings. He's the odds maker for all of DraftKings. Can you imagine what a job?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I want to ask him this time? How much pressure there is in that job.
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Former Toronto Blue Jays third base coach Tim Leiper is going to be joining us, and it's funny how that came about. Tim Leiper liked our page the other day. I'm still in this stage of, how'd you find us? You know what I mean?
I know.
How'd you even know who we are?
I know.
But he did. And we're going to talk Blue Jays with Tim Leiper, their former third base coach. And then the big one. I'm not going to spend as much time on this right now as I will next hour when he joins us. But Paul Bissonnette will join us, Bisonnette. And there's just an interesting little story there. I hearken back and think about the days that I spent in Arizona when our good friend Gary Drummond owned the team. He was the principal owner, and our friend Anthony LeBlanc. And I just got to be around these guys all the time, and Bisonnette was one of them. And over the last little while, I've been thinking we got to get him on the show. And then yesterday, as soon as we got off the air, he called. And I hit ignore. Funny thing, right? You were sitting there.
Yeah.
And I get a text. He's like, Rod, it's Biz. Call me back. I thought it was spam because it came up, area code 726, blah, 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 blah. And he laughed and he goes, no, it's going to be perfect. I'll come on tomorrow. We'll talk about the World Juniors game and all the rest. We were expecting a Canada victory. And now we're all mourning as a nation today. Hey, Drew Koser writes in from the Off the Hosel podcast. Very popular podcast, by the way.
One of the top golf podcasts in the country.
Good morning, Drew. Good to hear from you. So anyways, those are the guests. We'll talk more about Bisonnette and some of the things that came up when we were together in Arizona. But let's go to the Quick Six Show topics, please. Director Jordan, please, and thank you. And while I'm yapping and going through, please write in where you're watching and listening from today. That would help me out a lot. We had a lot to get to here, as I said. So number one, World Junior Gold Medal final last night. I will just say this. I was cocky. I was a typical Canadian hockey fan. I thought we got this. We'd been talking about that all day yesterday. What we say? This might be the greatest Canadian team ever. We said that.
It was brought up
many times yesterday. I thought literally, as they say in hockey, we just had to throw our sticks out. Didn't happen that way.
No, and we're all guilty of it. TSM was guilty of it. We were guilty of it. I mean, they're putting up the graphic yesterday. Is this the greatest Canadian team ever? Because there's only two teams in the history of the World Juniors that have gone perfect. Never trailed, never lost. All of a sudden, Canada trails, Canada lost. I kind of was talking to a buddy, Phil Gross, and I talked to him about like a prize fighter, right? You're a title fighter, but you've been clean all the way through your run. You've never had a blemish on your record, and you get into that title fight, and all of a sudden you take one on the jaw. And it's never happened, and you don't know how to react.
I'm sure there's a lot of books on it, and if there's not, they should be written. What happens when you face adversity for the first time? If you go through your whole life without facing adversity, it's going to hit you. And it hit Canada last night in the gold medal game. It was the first time they trailed in a game, and they didn't know what to do. For 30 minutes of the game, they were completely lost. And then they got it together, and by then it was too late. So anyways, hats off to the Americans. They won. And Finland took bronze. What was the score? It was 4-1, wasn't it?
That's right.
I didn't write it down. I didn't watch much of that game. Russia just... And Finland looked good. So, hey, the World Juniors is over. Now what? Point 2, Barrelgate. And just so you know, as soon as that game was over last night, I hit the fart sack, like immediately. I wasn't on Twitter. I wasn't... reading what was going on. So when I got up this morning early and climbed on the stationary bike, I opened my phone, I'm pumping away, and all of a sudden I see this thing. Rishog has a photo of the U.S. team. You want to throw it, Clark? Put it up. U.S. team with what looks like a garbage barrel with a Team Canada logo on it, a Hockey Canada logo. Immediately I'm enraged. There it is. That's Team USA with their champion banner and a garbage can with a Canada logo on it. Ryan Rishog tweeted that. Now, and then I calmed down and realized this has nothing to do with you. You have no control over this, blah, 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 all the things you're supposed to do. And then I read a little more and realized, no. The Americans, particularly Julie Robenheimer, our good friend from Elite Prospects, saying, no, this got nothing to do. What did we think? The first thing, Canada's garbage. They represent garbage, Canada, right? That's what we all thought.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, no, this is a motivational thing about traveling through the Sahara Desert, and it's one barrel at a time. And then was it Caulfield or somebody came out and explained that? Maybe Zegras. Whatever. Sounds dumb to me. And let's just say that's a bunch of bogus horse feathers, okay? And that they were trashing us. In that little 3-minute window when I actually thought that they were, this is what I thought. Who cares? Who cares? They won. You can do whatever you want. Ask Chris Strevler. You win the Grey Cup, you can carry a 12-pack of Old Milwaukee under you and smoke cigars and do whatever the hell you want. And if you're pissed, come back next year, Canada, if you're that pissed, and beat the USA in the World Juniors. Other than that, sore losers make winning more fun. So let's not let them know that they're getting to us, because they were the better team in the game. They can say whatever they want because they've got World Junior supremacy. So that's my take on Barrelgate. Kyle Outridge is watching. He's in Ontario, isn't he, Clark? Or Darren? Kyle?
Yeah.
He's Cambridge, Ontario. He says they can't win gracefully. Garbage. No, they can't. We know that about USA Hockey, and that's fine. My brother said, God, I just hope the Americans don't win. This was on Saturday. Well, they did. So, nana boo-boo. If you hate it so much, go out and beat them.
Yeah.
That's my take on that. Write that down. And that's the poll question today. Was it disrespectful? Now that what you know, they say it has nothing to do with Canada and everything to do with this motivational thing, and maybe it was. Was it disrespectful to bring that barrel out on the ice with the Canada logo on it? Where's my poll? 61% of you say no on Twitter and on Facebook.
64%
64% say no, it's not disrespectful. So isn't that such a Canadian thing? No, you kicked our ass. Have a nice day. On
I know,
you go.
right?
So Canadian.
We're mad in the moment for a second, and now we want to apologize for being mad last night.
This is funny. Glenn Erickson watching from the Dub Network website of which we're part. He says, we make kind of a big deal burying Canadian loonies under the ice, but the USA barrel is an issue? Want to keep your opponent in their lane? Just win, baby. Yes, Glenn. That's what I'm saying. If you get such a problem with it, go out and beat them. And you didn't do it. So I don't have a problem with it. Do whatever the hell you want. Moving on to football, point 3. Lot of talk in the National Football League. This is the breaking news today. Obviously, we know the Cleveland Browns are going to be missing their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, for Sunday night's playoff game against Pittsburgh. He's got COVID. I still don't know why you couldn't put him in a hazmat suit and just truck him on out there. I don't know why you couldn't do that. But I guess you can't. So, Prefer, the associate coach or whatever. What?
Could you imagine?
Just do it.
That's logical, and that's actually something they should be able to do. Just truck him out there in a hazmat suit. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying, but they're not. So here's the breaking news that we're following in the National Football League. If there are more COVID outbreaks today, because it seems like the Browns are all running around licking each other in their practice facility every day. They're the team that's had the worst luck with COVID. If there's more found, like, I don't know how many more they need to postpone the game, but there's a very real chance that the game will be postponed.
Yeah.
By the way, Jack Fulton watching in Vulcan, Alberta says Team Canada was out-coached. I thought the same thing. That's all I'm going to say. They didn't really adjust as the game went along, and to me, that's being out-coached. But moving on, we could spend all day on these. Point 4. You know it's going to be 9 hours of football on Saturday and 9 hours of football on Sunday. You throw in the pregame shows.
Oh, yeah.
It's heaven. It's pigskin heaven. So here's the 3 on Saturday, and I'm not going to get into the winners today. We'll do that later in the week. But it's Colts at Bills. First game starts at noon Central, and then it is Rams at Seahawks. Those teams should know each other very well.
Very well.
Be a great game. And then the night game, Tampa Bay. They got to go in and have their way with the Washington football team. And then point 5 is NFL Wildcard Sunday. 3 more games beginning at noon Central. Baltimore at Tennessee. Are you going to be able to sleep Saturday night?
Probably not.
Are you worried?
A little bit. Yep. A little bit.
Bears at Saints. Well, it's going to be fun on Football Friday talking more about these games.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then the Sunday night game, Cleveland at Pittsburgh, and the Browns don't have their coach. So those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about the rest of the week. Point 6 of the Quick 6 show topics here in the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. Although if you haven't really had to warm up, it's been nice.
Amazing.
Really nice weather outside. You're home for the NFL, the Four Seasons Sports Palace. You're ordering pizza in on the weekend for football, order it from the Four Seasons. The Saskatchewan Hockey Association dispelled a rumor that was going around, and should I mention Les? I guess I just did.
Yeah, he mentioned that there's...
The voice of the Blades, Les Lazaruk, tweeted that they're going to shut down all of hockey today. Hockey Canada was going to.
Yeah, he mentioned that there's a rumor going around. Now, I don't know if there's where he got the rumor from or if he's hearing it other places, but yeah, Sask Hockey shut that down and said, no, we're working really hard to try and play. Well, you can say what you want, you can tweet what you want, you can hear whatever you hear. The next, week or so, the next few days now, we're into that, I don't know if you want to call it D-Day, but we're going to find out if this is true.
I don't know that it's going to be the next few days, maybe the next week to 10 days. But I did say yesterday, I don't really believe the rumor that they're going to pull the rug out on all of hockey for a variety of reasons. I don't think that's going to happen. And 2, I'm still hearing, and we got more concrete, I think pretty concrete news this morning that They probably are going to play in the dub. So stay tuned, folks. I know you've waited this long. Can't you wait a little longer?
They'll always wait right until the 11th hour to make any decision.
I guess.
Right? If you think that you can start playing hockey in March and play into July, then you'll wait till March to cancel the season.
I've heard still the rumor that won't go away is that a wealthy private donor will underwrite the cost of the Western Hockey League for sure, playing maybe the entire CHL. 2, the WHL has applied to the government to play in empty arenas. And 3, I've also heard they're willing to play well into the summertime to get this in. All these things line up to me to them playing. Really does. Drew Koser writes in again. He's not only from the Off the Hosel podcast, but he is from the Pilot Butte Storm Junior Hockey Club. He says, let us play. So I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, other things. Rockstar of the day, by the way, yesterday was Spencer and Shelby Moore. I think we'll save on shipping, and just the next time she's home, we'll get her hat.
There you go.
And Spencer. The poll question today, we've already done that. Is it disrespectful? Barrelgate from Team USA. Now that you know the facts, everybody's saying no. Point 3, pretty big news in the CFL yesterday. The Saskatchewan Roughriders officially announced the new contract for quarterback Cody Fajardo, taking a haircut in these tough financial times, at least for 2021. But we broke that story on December the 19th. Another one, Charleston Hughes and Brett Lowther, 2 of the biggest names, not only with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but in the CFL, got going on Instagram last night about Canada, USA. That's how we were all gripped in this gold medal game. And, of course, they're football players, of course, so they start jaw-jacking each other, trash-talking. And in a 40-second clip, we came up. So, Clark, you want to roll that? You said you have the video?
Players. USA got a bunch of third and second round players. You know, those are the grunt players, the players that like to get down and dirty, like to put shoulders on people. You know, so they came out, they played physical. They beat up them first round players and making them play like 4th and 5th round players. And now the U.S. is taking over.
You coaching them, right? You the coach now.
I think I can coach hockey right now. That's what I would have told my player. I would have told him to come out, just play physical. We're going to bring the finesse game out later.
You better coach because you can't skate.
Actually, I can skate. You've never seen me skate.
I seen your Twitter video, bro. That is, oh my, you stick to football.
Hey, I told Chad I'll skate circles around you. I swear I will.
You might make me come out to Iceville this week.
If we play one-on-one on the ice, I'll probably score at least. I score at least 2 goals on you.
You better talk to Rod Pedersen or someone.
Because I'm gonna have the same mentality as these U.S. players. Come out, be physical. I'm gonna just knock you around.
You got to.
Charleston Hughes and Brett Lowther challenging each other. I'm not sure how we got dragged into that. Do they want to do a challenge on our program? Do they want me to be the goaltender in this? Because I'm certainly willing to do that. Whatever, we're here for it.
Brett says he's like, you got to check with Rod Pedersen on that because you know that Brett's a hockey player.
Oh yeah,
right. I think that's part of it is you can back it up. You know that Brett's a hell of a hockey player.
Well, he's told me. I haven't seen that either.
And I would love to see, because now you've been putting the pads on, you in goal, and they'll do a shootout, 5-round shootout to see who's actually better.
I think I do okay. I do remember when I used to practice with the Pats back like actual competitively. Remember Dmitry Nabokov, the Siberian sniper? He lined up 10 pucks in the slot. He goes, me, 10 shots, 10 goals. Did I ever tell you that story? First round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, by the way. How many do you think he got by me?
11. 10 shots. He could probably find a way to beat you 11 times, right? Did he get?
It's not funny.
Did he get all 10 by you?
No.
How many did you save?
5. What? Save percentage of 500. Anyways, boy, did you ruin that. You ruined that.
I could have
you just killed it.
I could have propped you up, but
no, you didn't. We're going to take a timeout. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. On the way, Johnny Avello from DraftKings. We're going to talk NHL season odds, NFL playoffs, and more. On the way, Bisonnette from the Arizona Coyotes and Spittin' Chicklets, and Tim Leiper, former Blue Jays third base coach. You're watching the RP Show on Facebook Live, YouTube and Twitter Live, Game Plus TV Network, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150, Explorer, or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Wednesday Coffee Get-Together continues here. Canada's daytime sports talk show. On the way, Biz Nasty from Spittin' Chicklets and former Blue Jays first base coach Tim Leiper. He of the John Gibbons era. But the NHL season opens next week. The NFL playoffs are nigh. Let's go down to Vegas and join our good friend Johnny Avello. He is the DraftKings odds maker. I don't know what did Johnny. Good morning, by the way. Happy New Year, my man. What is your official title? Thank you. What's your official title there at DraftKings?
Director of Race and Sports Operations.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, sounds very highfalutin, Johnny. Say, NHL season beginning next week. How has it forced you to adjust what you do with the new divisions?
Rod, it's really nothing different than what we normally do. And starting fresh, 4 new divisions. We know that 4 teams from each are going to go to the playoffs. We know it's a 56-game schedule. So we've just done it exactly the way we've done it in past seasons, put up a point total based on 56 games, rank each team on how we think they'll do for the division and then rank each team on how they'll do to win the cup. Nothing different from us odds makers.
Well, let me ask you this. With no crowds, for sure in Canada, I guess some in America are, and I don't know what the Golden Knights are doing. Maybe you can fill me in. But will your odds are going to change as the season goes along, obviously. Is now a good time to put down some money on your favorite team? Or, how much will this change as the season goes along? Your Stanley Cup favorites, I mean.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about futures is that they do adjust each and every day. The Tampa Bay team that opened up last year was about 6-1. You could have got them at 12-1 during the season. If you see value early in the futures, you should bet it. And you're not going to find that in the top teams like the Lightning or the Avalanche or the Knights. But if you wait, as the season goes along, especially in the beginning, if a team starts poorly, we'll probably make some adjustments and raise odds. So I think it's about watching and waiting or grabbing initially if you think the price is fair.
I've seen some of these odds for this year, but I mean, I see so many. Obviously, we're wagering on NFL and everything else. I can't remember. What do you guys got for the top 3 Stanley Cup odds right now? Which teams?
We actually have the Avalanche as the favorite right now. And we all know the Avalanche has been building a very good team there over the last couple of years. And, maybe this is the year they push it over the top. We have them at 7. We have the Lightning at 7.5 to 1. The Knights at 10 to 1. And then the Toronto team, the team from the North, at 11 to 1. I love the North. It's all Canadian teams. We're going to have some fun with that this year.
I think you mean the Scotia Division. And my beloved Golden Knights play in the Honda Division, as you know. We got a Leafs fan sitting right here. So what do you got to say to that?
I think that's so crazy. If I was going to sneak in a Leafs question, what do you have for projected point totals for Joe Thornton? That's probably going off the board here, probably something you don't have in front of you. But, when you get guys like that, I'm sure you guys do kind of, put all those types of odds out, right?
We do a lot of things like that. We put who's going to win each individual award. I told you we're putting up the points total. I can't remember exactly what Toronto. I think Toronto's about 72.5 on the point total. But we do a lot of things, and we continue to do that to make the playoff, division winner. Then we do have the best defender, best rookie, best goaltender, best coach. So we have all of those awards up now too.
How big's your team to do this, Johnny? By the way, Winnipeg's awake. They're upset the Jets are somewhat considered a long shot here. So we'll get to the Jets in a second. But how do you go about this, and how many guys and gals were involved in the process?
There's a lot. It's a big team. It's a team of probably, and everybody has different duties. But the entirety of the team for, the trading teams are over 100.
Wow. That's unbelievable. I'm going to take some questions from some viewers here, if you don't mind. The Jug in Saskatoon wants to know, what are the odds for the Bama OSU game Monday? The Natty. Johnny, how much thought have you put into that?
Well, we opened that game 7. We're up to 8 now. There's been a lot of Bama money coming in lately. I think some of that had to do with Justin Fields. There was some talk about there how healthy he would be. I think he had a rib problem for sure. I mean, he took quite a hit there in the second quarter of the game. But, he's had a lot of time to heal. He did come back. He did play very well after returning to the game. So, but Bama's got an elite team this year. And Ohio State did play a perfect game last week against Clemson. So I think that's what the bettors are seeing right now. Ohio State money will show up. They seem to be one of our teams that seems to be a magnet for drawing money each and every week on the college football slate.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is somewhat new to me, Johnny, and I'm just having a thrill. I mean, I was into the Rose Bowl based on the 19.5 spread for the Crimson Tide to win, right? And that's why I was in it so late. But, I mean, this week, or for Monday night, the Crimson Tide are not going to leave the deep middle of the field uncovered. They're not going to neglect it. I don't see Justin Fields throwing 6 touchdowns in this game. I mean, when you're watching these games, how much are you looking at it versus your odds and how it plays out versus just being a fan? Because it's so much fun, Johnny. I mean, your job just seems like a lot of fun. Is it as much fun as it appears?
It is, and it has been for me for over 35 years in this particular area of wager. I mean, I've been in casino business for over 40 years. The first 6 or so was in table games area. Last 35 or so has been in racing sports. Racing sports is so much fun, and I'll tell you why it's more fun, Rod, is because in table games, it's all structured. In the dice game, you roll a 5, you got to roll a 5 again before you roll a 7. In sports, what's the line I put up? Do I use 7? Do I use 7.5? Do I move it? Don't I move it? So there's much more gray area than black and white. But back to your question on Alabama, you're right, Rod. I thought Justin Fields, if his 5 touchdown passes or so, most of them were by a half an inch where the defender could have knocked them down, and they didn't. So will he be able to play that perfect game again? You have to be told.
I paused this for a second. Darren has a betting question. I got two for you. One, what's the photo over your shoulder? Is that your lovely wife? It looks a little like, who's the movie star? Well, you'll tell me who it is.
That's who it is.
Who was it?
Hemingway.
Serious?
Yeah, that's who that is.
Yeah, what's this? Tell me the story of the photo.
Oh, it's not what it appears to be. When I worked at Wynn Hotel, the guys made that up for me for a party we were having. So actually, I can, if I turn it this way, can you see that? There's a second one there too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got you. Who was the girl that starred in Monster? Why can't I not think of her name? Charlize Theron.
Oh, Halle Berry.
Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron. That's who I thought that it looked like.
Yeah.
And secondly, Johnny, you're going out for a steak. Money's no option in Sin City. I'm going to Vic and Anthony's and the Golden Nugget. Where are you going?
For a steak? Boy, I'll tell you, Wynn SW is one of my favorites.
Okay, there you go. All right, Dukes, over to you.
So,
it used to be called. It used to be called SW. That was for Steve Wynn. I'm not sure it's still called that any longer.
Probably not. No. Anyways,
I want to go and do the food tour of Vegas. But you mentioned when you're doing the betting 7.5. The one thing that I still struggle with is I just thought it was always a half, right? When would it be straight 7? And because that would end up potentially in a push situation, right?
Well, remember, in pro football, there's key numbers, 3 being the most key. 1 out of every 7 games falls 3, and then 1 out of every 14 games or so falls 7. So those are very key numbers. So when you're a bookmaker, you try to be very careful around those numbers. When you're on 7, you try to stay there as long as you can. And, money will move you off of it. And obviously money's moved us way off of it now. We're probably not ever coming back to that number. But you have to be careful on how you do move it, because every time you move a number, in my opinion, it costs you money.
Johnny, just on the NFL wild card weekend, we got 6 delicious games. What are you looking forward to the most this weekend? What game? Like for me, it's Brady's Bucks. I'm a Tom fan. I was never a Patriots fan, so I'll be watching that closely. He's a Titans fan, so that's the game he's watching the most. You're Raiders. Well, actually, you're not a Raiders fan, right? You're a big Blue fan now that I recall, so sorry about that.
Yeah, Dodger. I'm a Giant fan.
Exactly. Right. So what are you looking forward to this weekend?
I think the one game to me that I do like the Tampa game, because the Washington team, although 7-9 doesn't sound like a successful season, it is for them. There were no expectations of this team ever to make the playoffs. But it reminds me a lot of that Giant team of '81 with Lawrence Taylor. That team, the Giants did not make the playoffs for about 18 years. Lawrence Taylor revived that team, got everybody to elevate their game, and that's what Chase Young has done with the Washington football team. But the other game I'm interested in is the Colts-Bills game. We have a Bills team who's just playing phenomenal as of late, and I think the players have done everything that management has wanted them to do, from the young quarterback progressing. But the Colts, on the other side, you got Phillip Rivers, who can really screw up a game for you if you're betting on him or not betting on him. So that's a game that interests me very much.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be awesome. One more here from Dupes.
Well, the last one, you've been dealing with this all year, but how much does the COVID situation affect what you guys do? And I'm looking at Cleveland not having their coach. How much is that kind of throwing you guys off, or how do you approach that situation?
A coach means a lot to a team, but how much does he mean? You go back to Nick Saban when he was notably going to be out of that Georgia game. That game moved 1.5 points. But then when the other way towards Georgia. But when it was announced that he was going to coach, he went back up to the, original line, moved 1.5 points. That's a guy that's worth a lot of money. What's Kevin Stefanski worth? We moved the line from 5 to 6. It was already moving that way. We already had Steelers money. So I'm thinking he's worth about 0.5 point. And he's probably going to coach anyway, somehow, through headphones or however he's going to get his messages through.
They need him. You're right. I don't know if you were watching ESPN this morning, but the guys were saying anytime you talk about the Browns this year, the first thing that comes up is Stefanski. It's not OBJ. It's not Baker Mayfield. It's the coach. He's probably the coach of the year in the NFL, right? So, yeah, Johnny, that is a very big impact on the game. My man, always good. All the best in 2021, Johnny, and let's do it again soon. Enjoy the games.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a fine day.
Johnny Avello from DraftKings joining us from Sin City. And I should have written it, Director of Race
and Sport.
Oh, you remembered it?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Always fascinating. I love those, especially making picks every week and stuff. And it's not about the score and stuff, but it's, hey, you get more money betting on Pittsburgh, so you start moving the spread to think they're going to win by more so that it's more enticing for money to come in on the Cleveland side.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Speaking of very exciting, just before we break, our good friend Rick Regan is watching in Wichita, Kansas. And he says, Johnny! So if Johnny Avello is still watching, Rick, our big voice guy, says, hey, from Wichita, Kansas. He's the guy that says, The Rod Pedersen Show. How about that? Happy New Year, Rick. And one of our P1s, Todd Pinkney, writes in and he says, Edge Steakhouse, Las Vegas. That's his go-to for steaks in Vegas. I'm still sticking with Vic and Anthony's in the Golden Nugget, but you can't really go wrong. When we come back, Tim Leiper's going to join us. 5 seasons as the Blue Jays first base coach. He's a John Gibbons guy. 12 seasons in the bigs. He's going to join us and talk a little baseball in 2021 when we come back. You're watching the RP Show on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube, Game Plus Television, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You need to adapt and you need to move forward. You can't be stuck in 1920. Direct West is on the top of their game. They know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when you work with Direct West, things are good. There's no going backwards, they're moving forward. My business would not be where it is today without the help of Direct West to help me with my website and my Facebook and all my online presence. I've worked with Direct West for about 10 years, and it's been a great experience.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Updating and improving your air conditioning system does not need to be difficult. You can breathe easy with our 100% satisfaction guarantee, flexible financing options, and maintenance programs. We will be with you throughout the process from start to finish. Contact us today so we can help you breathe a little easier. 306-781-2090.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Big day, really big day on the RP Show. Going to bring in Tim Leiper right away. He's out in Muskoka, cottage country around Toronto, Southern Ontario. And the next hour, we're going to go deeper into the Canada-USA game last night. And the country, from a hockey perspective, is still in mourning. On my commentary on Cat Country this morning, I said, all of Canada came together for one night. And then I realized, no, hockey fans came together because sports doesn't matter. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we've been told for the last 10, 11 months. So we all came together as a hockey-watching country and then got our hearts broken by Tim Leiper's USA. Let's bring him in now. 5 seasons as the Blue Jays first base coach. There he goes. He's got the COVID flow going. Coach Leiper, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. It's funny that you said that. You introduced me as America's guy. It was funny because when Sidney Crosby hit the shot that won the gold medal, I was like 3 years into Canada at that point. And obviously I worked for Team Canada, and Larry Walker's one of our assistant coaches. So he always billed me as the American that worked on Baseball Canada. And I took a lot of heat for pulling for the USA during that Olympics. But now I've been in Canada like 12, 13 years, and I am fully disappointed. And I share the disappointment because I really wanted Canada to win this thing. I want to say that. I wanted to earn favor when I got on here.
Well, you got it. Hey, there's a million reasons that you've earned favor. But, I was looking at your Wikipedia, and it mentions the World Baseball Classic, but I never thought it was Canada. We get a lot of good friends that have played for Canada. You would know the name Dustin Mulliken, of course, a couple of World Baseball Classics he's played in for Canada. So how did that all come about? That's pretty cool.
I was a manager for the AAA Ottawa Lynx back, I think my first year there was 99, and I decided to live there and stay there and raise family there. So I met Greg Hamilton, who was the head of Baseball Canada at that point, and we were friends. And then in 2003, just in a conversation that we had, I said, hey, if you ever need help with the national team stuff, like I'd love to do it. And that kind of spurred on some really good things. And I started doing national team stuff in 2003, which was at the Olympic qualifier in Panama City. And we qualified for the Olympics in Athens in 2004. And then I've been working with them ever since. We missed a little period. We missed the Beijing Olympics. Ernie Wint and myself, but ever since then I've been a part of Baseball Canada, and I've been going on it now since 2003, and literally it's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
That's exciting as all get out, I gotta say. But a couple things. One, you're out in the lake, your internet is like strong like bull. Tell me what that is. And you also haven't had a haircut since like almost a year. So how have you survived out there?
And survived really well. It's a real blessing because when I was working for the Blue Jays, I lived right downtown, and we ended up buying a place up here maybe like a year and a half ago. I went to spring training with the Giants in Arizona, and then COVID hit. I got my last haircut the day before I reported to camp. Once COVID hit, we came up here north of Muskoka, and it's been absolutely fabulous. And the reason for my internet is I'm looking out my window right now, and there's a gigantic tower just off in the distance that allows me to have great Wi-Fi signal, way better than I get in Toronto.
So life is good, in other words. And you look at these years with the Blue Jays, by the way, folks, 2014 to 2018. You got some banners up now in that time.
Yeah.
I was there the night you guys dropped the 2015 pennant. I was there, game 1 of the Division Series. Like, that's a lot to be proud of.
It really is. And it's funny when you look up at the banners were a big deal for me. It's funny you're the first person to ever say that, but there's not enough of them up there. And, to be in the same row as the 90, let me get this right, the 92 and 93 World Series teams, that's a big deal. And going through that here in Toronto, had been such a long time before getting into the playoffs, and just to experience that and experience, baseball at that level in Canada with the whole country pulling behind you. It's such a unique thing in professional sports, and I'm so blessed and so proud that I was able to go through that.
The emotion of the bat flip, I was just watching it the other day because TSN does all the year-end highlights and stuff, and for whatever reason that came up. Take me inside your vantage point of that, because looking back 5 years later, it doesn't seem that egregious, right? But it was the biggest thing on the planet at the time.
It was the greatest thing about that. There was it was a time in the game where I really wasn't needed. I'm not exactly sure where the runner's on, but I realized that it was loud. I wasn't going to be able to do anything. So I actually took a couple steps closer to home plate. And for whatever reason, I just wanted to focus on Jose. Usually I'm watching the whole game. I know what's going on. I just felt I wasn't needed right there. And basically I became a fan at that point. But I didn't watch the ball being delivered. I didn't watch anything else. I just watched Jose's swing. And I was so focused on it. When he hit it, my initial reaction, it was crazy and it was so loud in there. But my initial reaction was like, oh, that's a no doubter. Like, we're obviously that was a huge home run. It's going to put us up. But my thought, the words started coming out of my mouth. I was going to say, you have to run. You got to run. But I got you got out of my mouth. And I realized, like, this is one of the greatest home runs in probably baseball history. And it's definitely one of the biggest home runs other than Joe Carter's in this building. And then I just thought, man, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this. And for him to be the guy that hit it, the guy who was here carrying the franchise before we got good, and the guy that had 50 home run seasons, like it just seemed like it was his place and his time. And I was really happy for him at that moment. Obviously, I was happy for us too. That was a big deal to be able to move on and go to the American League Championship Series.
So the viewers are just like, whoa, what? We're talking to the first base coach, folks. You were on the field, Tim. Let's reiterate that, right? You were 45 feet away.
Yes. Yeah, I was 45 feet away, probably much to the chagrin of the Rangers coaches who kept accusing me of stealing signs the entire series.
Well, hey, obviously you would know Greg Zahn very well. He's a close personal friend of mine, and we see the Astros scandal the same way. I just think they're ahead of the curve. They use technology. It's been the biggest talk in baseball the last 2 years, other than COVID, as you know, or I guess going back to whatever that World Series was, 2018. What's your take on that as a guy that's been right in the middle of the wars and accused of it, obviously?
Well, I hate that I missed it. And listen, we know there's a degree of sign stealing that goes on. To that degree, we didn't know. I'm a little bitter about it, or feel a little bit cheated, because I mean we played a 4-game series in Houston, 3 or 4 game series down in Houston that year, and we played great. And they were given every pitch. And if you look at the videos and the trash can banging, it hit a high spot against us. And we had a couple pitchers on our team that got sent to the minors after that, never to pitch in the big leagues again. And that bothers me, and it bothers me. And obviously, we lost our jobs after that year. It wasn't because we lost to the Astros, but at the same time, what if it was close? And what if we were a couple of games out of the playoffs and we got beat because of that? Like, that's just wrong. And then the other side of it was, I don't blame so much the players. I kind of blame the adults in the room for not knowing better, for not doing better. And the fact that they were out there trumpeting themselves as being a modern organization, the fact that so many other teams try to copy everything they did based on statistics and things that were gained, and advantages were gained from them illegally, like, that's problematic to me, because there's a lot of, like, even coaches that were in their major leagues or coaches that were in their minor leagues that got poached from other organizations to come over and teach the Astros way because they thought they were doing something so great. And a lot of people have lost jobs because of, like I said, advantages that they gained by banging trash cans.
Well, that is a very good explanation of why you feel that way. And correct me if I'm wrong, but to this day, they have not apologized, correct?
Yeah, no, probably not. That's irrelevant. I think the biggest thing is, the GM's out of baseball for life, and he tried to make a little comeback a few weeks ago that didn't really go very well. I don't know who his PR guy, but it wasn't very good. And, the guys served their suspension. So you kind of move on and you kind of go from there. But, there was a lot of that stuff that was that again, I'm a big guy being proactive in what you do. And there was enough evidence for this stuff to never happen. And a lot of people dropped the ball in order to get to the spot that it got to. So to place blame completely on them is a little bit, rough for me, because there was a lot of people who are in higher positions that if they just had enough sense to go and stop the problem before it happened, then we wouldn't have this PR nightmare, and they actually might have saved some people. And it's not a good look for the game whatsoever.
No. I'm just going to ask you one more. It's from John in Winnipeg, and he simply wants to know, Tim, do you think a new ballpark for the Blue Jays is possible? Go Jays, go. You've heard the rumblings, I'm sure. What did you think when you heard that?
It's funny. You thought about it, and they threw out where the facilities might be, and that makes sense. It would be kind of neat. And then just immediately upon hearing that, you had all the people came on that worked at the building, and then you realize how many loopholes you have to go through to be able to get this thing done. And I don't think it's possible. I think it's a great location. Obviously, the stadium is outdated. I will say this: it's a great place to play. I'm not a guy who's the president or GM. These revenue streams coming in or whatever. I'm just saying, as a player standpoint and a coach's standpoint, it's a great place to go to work every day. The location is tremendous. And I like it. So, that's for other people. I like the building. I'm nostalgic about the building, but I do understand they probably need to create more money and more revenue out of there. But I think so much has to happen for that to actually take place that I was excited for a minute, but then after that, I was like, nah, it's probably never going to happen.
Well, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And it is as nice now as the day it opened. I love it, too. It's iconic. It's the Blue Jays home. Tim, this has been awesome. Let's do it again, please, in the new year here. Great to see things are going so well, and stay safe. So you seem to be pretty safe where you're at.
Yeah, we're away from everything. I mean, the numbers in Toronto are tough right now. Obviously, it's tough for everybody everywhere, and I feel really blessed that we're up here. So, same to you guys. I know it's a tough grind. Hopefully, we all get through it and we get better because of it.
You bet. Thanks, Tim.
All right, great talking.
Tim Leiper of, I guess we can say, Baseball Canada, and former Blue Jays first base coach. When we come back, a sports update, and we'll dive deep into the deep end of Canada's loss last night in the World Junior Gold Medal game. And Biz Nasty coming up in hour 2 from Spittin' Chicklets. It's a big day. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a fun day, an uplifting day. We haven't spent as much time on Canada's loss to the United States last night as maybe you would expected, but we will. We got another hour and 10 minutes to do that. Viewer takeover is what we do here all the time in this segment. Anonymous texter from the 403 out in Alberta writes, tough loss. It's a game of inches and unpredictable bounces. You battle for every inch and you compete to get every bounce. Hindsight always leaves you with the would-haves, could-haves, and the what-ifs. That's from the 403 anonymous texter. Brady in Saskatoon. Hey, Rod, Team USA should be ashamed of themselves after dragging a barrel with a Team Canada logo on it onto the ice for their team photo. I don't care what it resembled or their reason for it. Win with some dignity and respect. Take your team photo and get off the ice. You don't need a prop. Brady, I agree with you. You don't need it.
Of course not.
You don't need it.
And it looks stupid, but so what? They won. Let them
do whatever you want.
However they want. I don't think it was disrespectful. I think it maybe looked funny. But, I mean, every team's thing is stupid if it's not your team, right? Some teams collect the pucks every game. Other teams rip off calendar dates. Other teams bring in little statues. They all have their thing.
That's the lesson to be learned in this. Win, and you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Sports update. Spencer Knight made 34 saves in the United States, topped Canada 2-0 to win the World Juniors in Edmonton. The U.S. won 6 straight games to capture its 5th under-20 title following a round-robin loss to Russia on opening day. Good buddy of mine, Corey Gibbons, down in Minot, tweeted, "Hey, USA, talk to us when you got 18. Signed, Canada." That's funny.
The surprising one that came out for me was Russia. 1 gold medal in the last 12 years? That blew my mind.
Time for a summit.
Yeah, I think so.
In Russia. Anthony Davis and LeBron James each scored 26 points to rally the Lakers to a 94-92 win over the Grizzlies. LeBron and AD combined for a run of 15 straight points late in the fourth to take the lead for good. Carolina Panthers say they have interviewed 6 candidates for their vacant GM position. They announced that they've interviewed Bills assistant GM Joe Schoen, Titans director of player personnel Monty Ossenfort, Saints assistant GM Jeff Ireland, and Patriots director of player personnel Nick Caserio. The team also said it interviewed Browns VP of football Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and former Giants GM Jerry Reese. I never quite understood why teams do that. I don't understand why they do that, and I'll get to that more in a minute. And the Rough Riders have signed star quarterback Cody Fajardo to a 2-year contract extension. We all know his story. Took over for an injured Zach Caleros in the first game of the 2019 season and was the starter the rest of the way. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. They can handle all your food and fun needs. Open at 4 p.m. daily, except for lunch on Fridays. Visit their website, ballersrecroom.com. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. I don't get it. We're getting into the playoffs now. There's how many teams in the playoffs? 16. Yep. That means there are 16 out. So there's teams looking for GMs. There's teams looking for coaches. And I don't understand this. I mean, maybe you can explain this to me more, but if I'm hiring, I know who I want. I'm going to get him or her. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm not going through this window dressing and pomp and circumstance and sending out a news release that we've interviewed these 6 guys. Why do they do that?
Due diligence. I think you look at it like the story we were talking about, just you and I, it was a marketing story before the show, that you put all your eggs in one basket and then all of a sudden it doesn't work out or something happens. You don't have a plan B. I think you have to do your due diligence just to make sure. I think you want to do these interviews to understand, okay, wait, I know I really want this guy, but let me just check and see. Maybe somebody else, knocks my socks off, or maybe it's not really what I want because I see what option B is. But I think it's due diligence. I really do. And keeping your options open.
Fair. From Stephen in North Dakota, watching, he says, I'm looking at the RP Show products to spend my American stimulus check on. What do you recommend? I would say these, you're a trucker, Stephen. I would recommend these thermoses. They keep your beverages cold or hot, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hoodies, bunny hugs, t-shirt. I think you would like the put your balls on the table t-shirt. I think you would really like that, Stephen. You could wear that. Real conversation starter. Real fun at parties.
Oh, yeah.
From the 416 texter says, Boomer bashing the CFL is nothing new. He once interviewed Doug Flutie in the late 90s when he said, boy, it's too bad you wasted so much time in Canada. People still on that. People haven't moved on from that.
I know.
Boomer yet. We're inside a minute here. 20 seconds, as a matter of fact. So stick around, everybody. Hour 2 is coming up. We're going to national TV on Game Plus. Biz Nasty's going to be with us. What more needs to be said?
It'll be a great hour.
We'll see you in Hour 2 on Game Plus or right here, Facebook Live, Twitter, and YouTube. No laughing on the sponsors couch. This is the media. We're not supposed to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com. Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Do it right now.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Now,
here's a little secret with what I do at the Rod Pedersen Show, and I've made a career of it. I don't care whether you like me or you don't like me, but when you watch my show, I just want you to feel something.
How about that?
Whether you're happy or you're sad or you're angry or you're proud, I just want you to feel something. Because a lot of times you'll read a column or watch a show and it's, meh. That's never been the hallmark of what I do. I want to make you think, I want to make you feel something, and it's worked. And if you don't agree with me, I'll be fine.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Rocking and rolling into Wednesday, episode 394 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. I'll be fine. Continuing to be fine. This might be one of the biggest days of the RP show history. Actually, it might be the biggest day. I'm not sure. We're going to be getting to our quick six show topics and talking a lot of hockey today, but I think it was Clark who said yesterday, we have landed the white whale of sports talk guests. And that is Paul Bissonnette, Biz Nasty from Spittin' Chicklets, coming up in 20 minutes. Which, by the way, did you text him, Clark? Thank you, because he said to text him a reminder. He was up late last night to make sure he's out of bed. Biz Nasty. And just for those that don't know, yeah, he's one half of Spittin' Chicklets with 1.1 million Twitter followers, close to 1 million Instagram followers, former NHL left winger. I got to know him in Arizona when my friend, I don't know if we're buddies, Gary Drummond, owned the Coyotes, and I was hanging around the scene. And we got on well, if you will. So he's the Don Cherry of this generation. Would I be right in saying that?
That's pretty fair, right?
For this generation of fans, he's their Don Cherry.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're going to refer to him in the same way that the older generation would refer to Don Cherry. Yep.
And his act isn't getting old.
Because it's real.
Yeah.
It's who he is. It's so authentically him. And it just started organically and naturally when he was playing the game, and it's turned into what it is now.
He's also the Arizona Coyotes radio color commentator, too, so he does have a day job. So, one of our viewers, Jackson Seal, I'm so pumped for this. We all are. But let's stay on track and get into the Quick Six show topics, please, Director Jordan. Thank you. And in Block 2 is when Biz Nasty will be joining us from the Valley of the Sun. So, number one, yes, the nation is in mourning from a hockey perspective. Canada losing to the United States in the gold medal final last night, 2-0. Yeah, we were all cocky yesterday. Well, me. And we were all saying this might be the greatest Canadian team ever. Here's the problem. They might have been, but they didn't go out and show it. And the USA was the better team last night. They blanked Canada 2-0. Who do you blame? You can't blame the goalie. The guns went silent. For half the game, they were lost. Like for 30 minutes of the game, they looked lost. And why was that? Part of the reason was because they were trailing for the first time. The first time they faced adversity was in the gold medal game. So Canada falling in the gold medal game. Congrats to the Americans. They earned it. They're a great team. And we're going to find out a lot more about Trevor Zegras in the years ahead. He's the tournament MVP. Way to go, America. And then Russia. They might be calling for a summit in downtown Moscow soon because they lost the bronze medal game 4-1 to Finland. And as Darren pointed out last hour, Russia has got one gold medal in 12 years. That won't sit well with Mr. Putin. Moving on to point 2. The barrel. Can you put it up, Clark? Team USA, when they won it all last night, assembled for the obligatory and traditional team photo on the ice. And for some reason, they brought out a 45-gallon drum with a Team Canada logo on it. Now, I hit the sack immediately after the game last night. I didn't stay for any of the interviews to watch. Done. Good night. So when I got up this morning, Twitter's ablaze with this. What is this? A garbage can with a Canada logo on it? Of course I was incensed like everybody else. And then I scroll Twitter a little longer and see it was already put to bed. The Team USA released a statement saying this, no, it's not about a garbage can with Team Canada on it. It was a barrel by barrel. It was kind of a flimsy explanation as far as I was concerned, but it was something they were doing for motivation, and crossing the Sahara Desert, and every game represented a different barrel. Maybe it was dumb, but it worked. But they're just saying, no disrespect intended. It's got nothing to do with Team Canada. And it's led to our poll question today. Was Team USA's barrel gate disrespectful to Canada? And we haven't checked the results for about an hour. So what do you got on Facebook there, Clark? What are they saying for results?
62% say no.
62% say no, it's not. That there's a backstory. It's not meant to be offensive. But let's just have a little fun for a second and say, forget the backstory. Let's say they brought out a garbage can with Canada's logo on it, which is what I initially thought. And I'm like, those dirty.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought was, who cares? They won. They can do whatever the heck they want. That's all that matters. Like Chris Streveler in Winnipeg. You win the Grey Cup, you can be drunk for a week and stroll down Portage Avenue in a fur coat and a cowboy hat and a 12-pack Old Milwaukee under your arm, and nobody's going to care. They're going to love you. You can do whatever the hell you want if you win. So I didn't like it, and it's still somewhat disrespectful because in 10 years, we're going to look back at those photos and not remember the backstory and still see that. Right? People are going to forget, but they won. So they can do whatever they want. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. That's not a bad message to youth. Something to strive for. You reach the top of the mountain, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and it's an interesting story of perspective, too, because we lost, they're disrespectful, everything else. And on the American side, it's like we knocked down big, bad Canada. And it's one of the greatest moments of their lives. And, the victors, right? So it's interesting, the perspective side of it. In America, they love it, obviously. They're happy. This is one of the greatest victories for the nation, period.
Well,
and for Canada, not quite the same.
Well, not in America. That small fraction of hockey.
It's huge.
For them, it's huge. But I kept getting all last night that Americans don't care. Even Chuck Kurtai, our good friend in Pittsburgh, the writer down there, says It's apathy across the United States. And I'm like, well, that's your loss then, because it's a big deal to us. And it still hurts that we lost, but at least we can say the better team won Tuesday night, and let's move on. Speaking of, let's move on. Point 3, NFL wildcard divisional weekend. There are 6 games this weekend, 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday, and the Sunday night game is a battle of the black and blue division. The Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cleveland will be missing their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who I believe will be the coach of the year in the NFL. If not, he should be. If not, who else, by the way?
McDermott in Buffalo would be a real strong candidate. But, yeah, he's up there for sure.
So he's going to miss the game because he's tested positive for COVID along with a handful of players. And I don't think he's allowed to come anywhere around the stadium. I said put him in a hazmat suit and let him go out and call plays. Apparently they probably thought of that and said, no, you can't. So the effect, the Kevin Stefanski effect, he is the play caller on offense, right? You know, we had Johnny Avello from DraftKings on last hour, and what did he say? The absence of Stefanski, they've moved the line by 0.5 point. I think it's a lot bigger than 0.5 point impact on this game.
Well, it is. It absolutely is. Now, he did say they're going to find a way. You know, he just assumes they're going to find a way he'll be communicating on the sideline through a headset or something. That'll be interesting to see if that's allowed or how they can make that work. But if he's, absent, that does change things for Cleveland, especially that's Baker Mayfield's play caller, right? So that's your security blanket, a little bit familiarity. And it's not about the game plan or the playbook. It's about knowing when to pull the strings and how to manage it when different situations happen.
That's why they won so many games under Kevin Stefanski. So anyways, it's huge. This is the warm-up for Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. You're home for the NFL. Clark, the second Biznasty logs in, please let me know. And we'll go to break early and get him on as soon as possible. So point 4, those 3 games on Saturday on NFL Wildcard Weekend are the Colts at the Bills, starting at noon Central, Rams at Seattle, and then the night game, Tampa Bay at Washington, as Brady and the Bucs have their way with Washington and Bill Belichick and the Patriots watch on television. Point 5 is the Sunday games. His Tennessee Titans, and he admitted to being a little worried. Are you wearing Titans stuff?
Not right today.
You're wearing a hat in earlier, a Titans hat. They're home to the Baltimore Ravens, and they met last year, did they not?
They did.
And the Titans won.
They did.
So that'll be a great game. And then the middle game is Chicago with the Saints, and then the night game is Cleveland at Pittsburgh, as we talked about. Point 6 is a big one around here. Our good friend Les Lazaruk, the voice of the Saskatoon Blades, former Winnipeg Jets color commentator, tweeted, it was Monday or Tuesday, that there's a rumor that Hockey Canada will pull the plug on all of hockey in Canada on Wednesday. That's today. And it got a lot of people really worried. It got those of us in that world wondering, is the Western Hockey League and the Junior A leagues under the umbrella of Hockey Canada? We heard that they're not. I think they are. I don't know. And then the Saskatchewan Hockey Association sent out a tweet on Tuesday saying there's a rumor going around that the entire season's going to be scrapped. I'm paraphrasing on Wednesday, and we will tell you that there's nothing further than the truth, and we're working behind the scenes to play. We're doing everything we can to play. So the rumor, and Les did put up the disclaimer that I hope this is bogus. Well, it turned out to be bogus. We've got some information today that even furthers our notion that the Western Hockey League is going to play. The anonymous private donor, for now anonymous, private donor is going to underwrite the cost of playing. I believe that's what I was told from a good source. 2, they've applied to the government to play in empty arenas. If they're going to play, that's what they're going to have to do. And what was the third that came to light today?
The donor.
Everything pointed to the WHL playing anyways.
Exactly.
Well, Kyle Outridge is watching in Ontario, and he says, running out of time for junior hockey to return. Says who? Oh, that was the third point, that they're willing to play into the summer to award a Memorial Cup. So the things that I'm hearing are pointing more towards them playing than not. That's the big point. Hockey in Canada, obviously, that's what we're hearing. Yesterday's Rockstar of the Day for Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions were Spencer Moore, tight end of the Montreal Alouettes, and his wife, Shelby. The viewers really liked them yesterday. Point 2, or bonus point 2, Cody Fajardo signing a contract extension with the Saskatchewan Roughriders through 2022. It is January the 8th. Is it the 8th today? 6th. Can't read my own writing. Not quite Elvis's birthday. But people are starting to talk a lot about the CFL season. I got word from the Western Canadian Baseball League that they plan to start up in June, if all goes according to plan with vaccinations. So the Fajardo thing's good news. The CFL's pumping out a lot of good news. Everybody wants to feel good about a season. Yeah. Fair?
Absolutely.
Okay. And, just a couple of things. One, my family's very happy. I talked to my uncle in Kelowna yesterday, my mom's brother. And I hadn't talked to him in about a year. And I said, when we had a family reunion in Calgary, and I said, what's your cable out there, Shaw? And he says, no, it's Telus Optic TV. I watch you every day. My uncle. And he goes, I tape you every day. And then if you're talking hockey, I don't watch it. But if you're talking football, I do. And I said, well, you understand we're a hockey country, right? So I got to talk hockey. He said, oh, I get it. He goes, but no, my buddies out here, we all watch it. So that's good. My family's happy out in BC.
That's great.
That's happening. And I wanted to point this out. I picked up these bad boys yesterday. I put it on my Instagram. Look at this. I want to... the Moose Jaw Warriors. Can we get a place for this?
Yeah,
on the wall somewhere?
For sure we can. Maybe in the...
And this outdoor classic game from the Regina Pats, the Prairie Classic, when they played the Calgary Hitmen. Was that just last year? It was the day after the NHL Heritage Classic here, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, Chris Clark from the Unofficial Pats podcast sold them to me, and somebody said, why is Chris selling them? I said, I don't care. Why do I care?
The other one's going to be a collector's item.
Maybe.
It might be.
Talking about changing the logo. So we got 2 new jerseys to adorn the bunker here. So this has been the warm-up for Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons, your home for the NFL. Bisonnette has logged in, and he joins us next from the Valley of the Sun, and we're going to talk about this hockey game last night and see if he's recovered. It's the RP Show. You're watching on Game Plus TV, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Updating and improving your air conditioning system does not need to be difficult. You can breathe easy with our 100% satisfaction guarantee, flexible financing options, and maintenance programs. We will be with you throughout the process from start to finish. Contact us today so we can help you breathe a little easier. 306-781-2090.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And the time is here. We got a lot of comments on those jerseys, by the way, that I just threw up, and I'll get to those in a minute. But we're not going to keep this guy waiting. Phoenix Coyotes, great. Paul Bissonnette joins us from the Valley of the Sun, from the Spittin' Chicklets podcast. Biz, hey, they reminded you that we're on national television live, right? Just the language thing. They told you that, right?
Yeah, I'll dial in. I'm a little bit jealous of your setup. I thought I had a cool setup here. You got the whole studio there. You even got a sidekick.
So do you. An American one, by the way, which is where I want to. Which is where I want to start, Biz.
Of course.
Is your day horrible with the Americans winning and you living in America?
No, I think anytime the expectations going in, you know, when it's a one-game final, is you never know. I thought the Americans played a good game, and I just, there's a lot of pressure going on these Canadian kids, a lot of first rounders. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they couldn't really muster much up. That was probably the most frustrating part. But they ran into a hot goaltender and a team that had a lot of will. And I think most of the attention ended up going to the Barrel post game.
No kidding. I woke up this morning enraged. I saw the picture. I'm like, what? And then I got the explanation that, it's got nothing to do with a garbage can and Team Canada. I'm not even sure I'm buying it. What do you think about the Barrel?
Oh, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was odd that they brought it on the ice. And obviously when that happened and with social media, how quickly things can catch fire. I think it raised the tension post-game and it created a little bit of a separate storyline. But ultimately, they played awesome. They deserve to win. Happy for the other guys on the podcast. I'm kind of outnumbered 3-1, and they were digging in pretty good on the group chat.
But stop. It's got to hurt, man. Like, I watched the videos. I logged on in between periods, and Whitney's running around singing "We Are the Champions." Like, have they not rubbed it in today, or have you just turned your phone off?
No, the one thing, it was just I thought that Finland outplayed the States in the semifinal game, and I thought that Canada had a pretty good stranglehold on Russia. And I thought, just given with the extra 3-4 hours rest because they played earlier, that they were going to steamroll them. And I mean, I think a lot of the hype of the not giving up a goal 5-on-5, and then all of a sudden they were the first ones to get on their heels when the United States finally potted one 5-on-5, and it just seemed after that, United States really settled in. And as I mentioned, I'd say the most frustrating part, other than on maybe the power play, there wasn't a ton of sustained pressure for Canada. I thought the United States just did an incredible job with their game plan and executing it.
Craig Campbell, the executive director of the Hockey Hall of Fame in downtown Toronto, is watching, and he says, quality touch with the Hudson's Bay blanket on the couch. Where'd you scoop that, Biz? Did you bring that from home, or what's the story?
No, that was actually a gift from the CEO of Barstool, Erica Nardini. She sent it over for Christmas. I've been going hiking a lot. I think maybe that's why she sent it over. I'll be bringing this on my hiking trips, but I love it. I love the colors. I'd seen them around, but I didn't know exactly what it is. I don't even know the story behind it. What's Hudson's Bay?
That was their logo, probably still is. Well, it's the Bay. Well, in Ontario, it must have had a Bay store, I would think.
This is the Pendleton Home Collection. No free ads, by the way, on this.
Yeah, no kidding. The Bay, that was their logo, those colors for years and years and years, and I think they still are, the department store. Look, one more on the game. Let me just ask you this. At what point did you get worried that this might not be our night? Where were you?
Right at the beginning of the second when they got their second, and that was just. I thought you were going to come out and see a different Canada team. I thought maybe they were going to take a little bit of the momentum off of that power play late in the first period. I think they hit a post there, and then Byfield had a glorious chance right in the slot area. I don't know when he tipped it if it ended up just going right up into the mesh or if he missed it outright. But yeah, when they scored that early one, and then all of a sudden it was 2-0. It was they just couldn't muster up anything after that, really.
I know. I started to get those tingles like, oh, no, it's happening, and we can't stop it.
Well, that's what's frustrating in a situation like this. They're playing in back-to-back, and often throughout the tournament, they're relying heavily on their top guys to where it's like, in a back-to-back situation, like especially even throughout the course of a season, is like some nights like your top guys might not have the juice that they had the night before. I'm not saying they played bad, but who are going to be the other guys? So like divvying up the ice time and maybe riding a hotter line if it is your fourth line. But really in this situation, their big guns weren't able to muster up enough offense, and I don't think they even had anyone in the depth lines that they could turn to where they could hand the reins over in order to lug that ice. But at the end of the day, like I said, you just got to tip your cap to the States. And anytime you find yourselves in these situations against the United States in the final, it's never a guarantee, as we know now, 4 in a row.
I'm with you. We have a year to suck on this until next year when we can get them back. Now, Biz, I was telling the viewers this earlier. I don't know if you remember. You know that saying, the elevator visit? You and I had one in the Gila River Arena press box a few years ago because you started following me on Twitter the next day. I said, you honestly believe it takes 5 years for a rebuild? Remember that? And you winked and you said, got to sell it. And at that time, the Coyotes were in year three of the rebuild. And then in year 5, the Coyotes make the playoffs for the first time since 2012. And it's almost like the rebuild was achieved. It was our elevator visit. It was about a 25-second long chat about the Coyotes rebuild. Yeah. Is the rebuild complete in Arizona, or where are they on the cycle?
I think we've taken a couple steps back over the last 6 months. It's been a bit of a tough go. Of course, spending up to the cap, losing a lot of assets with a few different reasons here. Obviously, bringing over Taylor Hall at the deadline, losing some to the issue with training guys before the draft. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that situation. But in today's NHL, given the cap situation and how young the league's gone, I think 5 years is plenty of time for a rebuild. At one point, I really liked where it was heading. I thought that at one point it did get rushed, and then contracts were maybe given out. But once again, that's the new NHL before they, fully been earned. But if you're trying to catch these players on the upslope, where at the end of the contracts you're getting a bargain, then I guess we're going to have to see it play out. But as far as a rebuild's concerned, Coyotes are going to have a little bit more work to do here. And fortunately, they do have a few good pieces with Darcy Kemper and net. There was some a lot of trade talks with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I'm sure that settled down, and I'm not sure he's going to move this year. At least give it one more go. And then they got a couple young guys up front. I mean, we just talked about the Team USA, like Clayton Keller. He's a big piece. They signed him to a long-term extension. They also have Nick Schmaltz, who they brought over from Chicago, who, when he's been healthy, he's shown some great signs of producing high-end offense. So as far as the rebuild is concerned, and if in today's NHL, are you able to do it in 5 years? Absolutely. I mean, you're seeing tons of teams flipping around, maybe in even a shorter term span than that. But as far as the Coyotes are concerned, I think that they've had some moves that have hurt them, that have set them back some time here.
Well, they're my third favorite team behind the Golden Knights, Oilers, and then the Coyotes are in there. Are we going to see a radical shift in philosophy under Bill Armstrong from John Chayka, or same, do you think? Strategy.
I mean, he's going to have to come in and prove it. I mean, he's been able to do it as an assistant GM with St. Louis, and as far as their draft record and how they've been able to develop players and then continue to keep the organization relevant. I mean, Yeah, he's been there, done that, and seen one of the best in the business, and Doug Armstrong do it. So I would imagine that he's going to be able to take that over here. I don't think it's something that where you just kind of click your finger, because there still are a lot of question marks as far as, with the lack of assets in the draft that we do have coming up in the next few years. How, what is going to be the plan with that? How are you going to manage the assets that you have that might keep you, like, for instance, like we have Darcy Kemper in net, right? It's kind of a Carey Price situation, and I know that's very high praise, but if you look at Darcy Kemper's numbers over the last few years, he's an elite world-class goaltender. Is he going to make your team so good to where you remain competitive, but you just miss out of playoffs to where you're never getting these high-end draft picks that are going to end up coming in and making an impact? Like, ultimately, you've seen all these teams that have been able to turn it around very quickly. There's like a common denominator here is they end up having a high-end impact player drafted first or second or third overall, and or done by committee that can come in and change the organization. I mean, Austin Matthews with Toronto, Jack Eichel's a game breaker in Buffalo who they can build around, although that might not be the best example given the struggles that they've had in the recent years. But they got some things to figure out, Rod, and there's no way to really sugarcoat it. But I respect the question, and yes, I'm trying to sell it as best as possible being an employee of the Arizona Coyotes here.
I'll never forget when you got to sell it. God bless these viewers. Corey in Winnipeg. Hey, Biz, is Phil Kessel sleeping on your other couch, still renting from you? Please don't wake him up. Yes, yeah. Chris in Toronto. 5 years is enough for a rebuild? Could someone please tell Brendan Shanahan? In Toronto, so there's that.
Everybody's really antsy about the Leafs. Like, I feel like they're coming into their time now. Like, I mean, it's easy to judge the last few years. They still have had a very young core group if you look at it. But I would say the time to probably start judging would be this year. Now that they got some more veteran experience in there, I think Joe Thornton's really going to help. I mean, not only with the on-ice stuff, but I think deflecting a lot of the negativity in the media. Would you say that it gets to the point where it's a little bit toxic, where even when things are going well, they're pointing things to create storylines? So I think I'm very optimistic as a closet Leafs fan that this year they will definitely make strides.
I gotta bring this up, by the way. Speaking of being a closet Leafs fan, because you're a Welland guy, do you know this Ben Vanderklok? Because I brought this up to Rich Sutter the other day. He's the goalie coach for the Predators. I'd never heard of him before. I said he's going to have his hands full with Askarov. And I see you guys are from the same hometown.
Yes, Ben Vanderklok. I believe he played for the Cougars, Welland Cougars at one point. I believe they were called the Welland Cougars at the time. But great goaltender, ended up going on. He had a bunch of goalie schools back home. All of a sudden, he'd hopped on with the Preds. And I believe he's been there for at least a good 5 or 6 years now and had a lot of success at the NHL level. So Rod, it was crazy. During this one period of time, we ended up having, I think, 7 players from Welland in the NHL at one time. Which, if you're familiar with Matt Ellis, he was with Buffalo. I think he started his career with the Detroit Red Wings. And keep in mind here, we're talking about a town of 50,000 people. And we were just very fortunate where we had a lot of good members of the community who helped out with the minor hockey system. And we ended up having this massive wave. I mean, Dan Paille won a cup with Boston. Cal Clutterbuck, who's had a very good career, still playing with the Islanders. Dan Girardi, who almost hit 1,000 games. Jamie Tardif, who snuck in. I throw Nathan Horton in the mix because he played his minor hockey in Welland. Mind you, he was a freak of nature, so he was playing Junior B in that same league that Vanderklok was in at 13 years old. But Vandy's had a great post career, and I couldn't be happier for the gang from back home in Welland, Ontario.
Horton was a World Juniors hero, if I'm not mistaken, too. Was he not, for Canada? And I think he was. I'd have to look it up. Obviously, Biz, a flood of questions coming in. I won't keep you too long here, but Robin in Prince Albert says, who are you kidding? Matthews will sign in Arizona after his current contract. And look, Gary Drummond and Anthony LeBlanc are good friends of mine. That's how I got down there. And their rebuild was this for Austin Matthews. As you know, that was the plan. And this team, they still, I believe, left it better than when they found it. I really do. But do you believe that the day comes that Austin Matthews wears a Coyotes jersey?
I mean, I don't know if I say and if I speak on it, it's tampering. I don't want to get us fined. And I can't have the Coyotes losing any more draft picks here, Rod. All right. It would be cool. I mean, he grew up watching Donor and developing a bit here in Arizona. I know he ended up going off and going some places like Europe before he started his NHL career. But he signed that big deal in Toronto, although it was a 5-year deal extension, and I think it would be cool to have him back here. I think it would be great for the game. You mentioned that the praying aspect and hoping that they were going to land him, that would have been a big time game changer for the organization. And it just so happens when I was talking about those high end draft picks, Coyotes have never gotten much luck in the draft. I think the highest they've ever picked is third. They got Kyle Turris at third. And the year I want to say that was it Matthews was available, they ended up getting Dylan Strome third, who is no longer with the organization. So those are the types of guys that would change the whole dynamic of an organization, and he would be very, very well received here. And speaking of Phil Kessel sleeping on my couch, Austin Matthew can sleep. I'll sleep on the couch. He can sleep in my bed, just not with my old lady.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, there's a lot of questions coming in. I don't want the full story because I don't think we have time. But Jim in New Jersey is watching. He wants to know the arena where you scored your first goal, and if you still have the goal light. Where'd that happen, Biz?
Okay, so this is a Budweiser goal light, but that's a Coyotes photo with a Pittsburgh Penguins puck, and that was my 200th NHL game. And oddly enough, it was against the Penguins, who drafted me and gave me my start in the NHL. So it was obviously a special night. I got that there. But as far as my first goal, I ended up scoring against the Montreal Canadiens at Gila River Arena, and I wasn't looking at the puck. Heshka shot it from the point. It hit my skate and went in. But the grandkids are going to hear about me going end to end, splitting the D, and going top cheese on Carey Price. So that's how my grandkids are going to hear about it. But in all seriousness, it wasn't very pretty, Rod.
We'll say, grandkids, there was no video back then. Just trust me. This is a story on it. Just trust me. I got to ask you this. I'm a huge NLL fan. I'm a Saskatchewan Rush season ticket holder. So when I saw you jaw-jacking the Vancouver Stealth, now the Warriors, I thought it was hilarious. And then I saw when it worked out with them, and you said that they were bullying me. I actually thought you were serious at first, that they were, what'd you say, bullying or harassing you, the players?
Yeah, your fans are crazy. Grandma Rush as well. I know that recently she'd gotten sick. Is she doing all right?
As far as I know, she's doing well. We haven't seen them in a year. The league shut down. So as far as I know, she's come through it, yeah.
It was a very unique experience. Like, I'd never played lacrosse growing up, but I know a lot of hockey players had, and how important it was, not only their conditioning, but their hand-eye coordination for doing it in the off season and not necessarily having to getting on the ice and getting that break. So they just wanted a little bit more traction towards their team, and they thought, hey, let's do something silly, do a collaboration in order to bring over hockey fans to the lacrosse community in order to give it more awareness. And we did that, the silly video. I said that I was going to go and try out for the team. And Rod, let me tell you, lacrosse is so much harder than it looks. Of course, I have a ton of respect for it before I'd even done it. I couldn't figure out how to shoot. I could barely catch a ball. Going up and down, the physicality alone of it is on a different level than the NHL. The amount of abuse that guys take in front of the net in lacrosse, some guys, I know they're flying by the crease sometimes, but some guys are willing to sit in the paint and they just get hammered away on. And my experience watching those two games in the NLL were awesome. And now I've kind of even started paying attention to field lacrosse. So tons of respect for those guys. And I hope that they can get that league back going soon here.
Oh, yeah, they just abuse each other, and it's legal. I'd love to see a team play.
It's like medieval time dinner and tournament. That's what it's like, a modern-day version of that.
It's exactly what it is. I'd love to see a team in Phoenix playing in the downtown arena where the Suns play. Talking stick, I think they still call it, right? Last one, Biz.
Yeah.
When I talk to the older folks, I say Paul is the Don Cherry of this generation. And I want to know your thoughts on that label, because I believe you are.
Yeah, guys, we're kind of just hanging out in our own little sector of the internet. Don is the GOAT. With the way everything went down, it was really unfortunate, because I believe with what he's done for the hockey community that, it was really hard to see it end that way. And I mean, if anyone would give me that praise, I would take it with honor. I think Don's an incredible guy, and he does a lot, of course, for the veterans and people who serve. So I'm going to deflect that, and I appreciate you saying that. But Don's the GOAT, and he's the OG, and I have the utmost respect for him.
He is, and we just had him on not that long ago, and it was unbelievable because he broke down. Biz, he actually said, because Darryl Sutter and Tiger Williamson guys had said that what you just said, that Grapes had been railroaded out, and it's terrible the way that they treated him. And Grapes is like, I thought people would forget about me. I'm like, are you kidding me, Grapes? But that tells you how humble a guy he is, similar to the answer that you just had.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate incident. And actually, Rod, when that all went down, I was doing the hometown hockey with Ron McLean, and it was the craziest thing because you could see how much it was affecting Ron, and it was still all the wheels were in motion where a decision really even hadn't been made at that point. And I think it was just really a tough time on the hockey community, especially maybe the old school group. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're trying to advance as a society, and I think that maybe an apology would have helped out at the time. And it was just like, it was so crazy. It happened so quick, and it was just one of these things where I think it was tough. It was tough to see, man. And I can't really find the words to express how I feel about how it all went down. But it was just a crazy time, and I wish him the best. And I believe that he should at some point get a send-off to thank him for what he's done.
Should be a statue of him in front of the CBC building on Front Street in downtown Toronto. But when Grapes was on, Biz, he's not apologizing. He referred to us as you people. Yeah. So he doubled down on it. And it's funny, like it was a stretch of 3 days deciding whether Grapes was going to keep his job or not. It felt like 3 months, right? Like it was a national crisis. What's going to happen with Don Cherry? But anyways, Biz, for what it's worth, I'm super proud of what you guys are doing there, man. And you just carry that flag so well as a Canadian, and what we're following very close to what you're doing. So thanks for the time. Keep it up, my man, and all the best in 2021. Go Yotes.
Boys, thanks for having me on, and thank you. I'll let the boys know here about the support, and if you can ever get back to a game, we'll get the rebuild going again.
I love it. Let's do it. Not 5 years. All right, thanks, Biz. Paul Bissonnette, Biz Nasty, joining us from the Valley of the Sun. Might be our biggest interview ever right there. You just saw it. We made history today. You're watching on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website, IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Woof. That was amazing. We're still excited about the Paul Bissonnette interview. And Darren just sat there and enjoyed. Hey, you're like
ever interacting with the YouTube listeners. That's where I jump into the comments, is on YouTube, to interact with them, which is kind of fun. They were asking questions. What's the picture over his shoulder? And so that's cool.
Well, before we get into the sports update, Biz, I don't know, did I hear him wrong? He invited us to Arizona to a Coyotes game or two.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. And your mind just went into overdrive.
Oh, yeah. Like, we could have been on the plane ride to Florida. It's like, no, we're going to Phoenix now.
Like, hey, Captain.
We're going.
Swing right.
Attention, everybody. Once we get there, we're going to stay in the airport for 6 hours because we're going to Phoenix.
Oh, no. So Alan the intern, who fills the Ricky the Iguana costume, our mascot. Alan's here, eh? Now that I think about it, can we see Ricky on the screen for those that... there he is. That's our mascot, Ricky the Iguana. For one, Alan says, is Rockstar of the Day any question? Biz Nasty is the Rockstar of the Day, no question. Alan the intern, anointing. Biz Nasty is the Rockstar of the Day. And I would go along with that. But Tim Leiper, the Blue Jays first base coach, pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
Last hour. And now Alan, he's throwing it down. He's challenging Growler, the Coyotes mascot, for a fight. Ricky, I set up the fights. Like you and the Stingrays mascot, South Carolina. He's challenging Growler, the Coyotes mascot.
He's the young fighter sitting big. I'm going to get that guy. And Don King's like, just settle down. I choose the fights.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And
I got to go through all my Facebook photos. Clark, we're going to pull this up. It's on my social right now, a photo of Growler and I at the Rough Riders party in Phoenix, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. I'm sending it to you right now, Clark. Here it is. Me and Growler. I'm just saying, Alan, you're challenging my buddy, Growler. So if you're going to fight him, you better win.
The photo was on your Instagram story.
It was on my Instagram story. It's on my Facebook. It's everywhere. Sports update. Canada had to settle for silver at the World Junior Hockey Championship following a 2-0 loss against the United States last night in Edmonton. The Americans now 4-1 all-time against Canada when going head-to-head for gold. And Finland beat Russia 4-1 for bronze. The 2021 World Juniors had a shaky start, but Hockey Canada, the IIHF, and Edmonton's organizing committee pulled it off successfully in a global pandemic. Using the 2020 NHL playoff bubble as a template, the 10 teams arrived, played games, and crowned a champion without derailment. Mired in 29th place in the NBA overall standings, the 1-5 Raptors have gone west to start a 4-game road trip tonight in Arizona, facing the Phoenix Suns. Sacramento, Golden State, and Portland also await Toronto. Only the Pistons are worse, at 1-6. College football playoff executive director Bill Hancock says the national championship game between Alabama and Ohio State is still a go for Monday night. The pandemic threatened to shut down major college football altogether in the summer, but a season was played through dozens of postponements and cancellations, and with teams getting through games shorthanded because of the virus. This sports update for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store, corner of Rochdale and Pasqua, for Wendell Clark's in Saskatoon, where it is
Wendell Wednesday.
Wendell Burger on feature today, $12.95. The Wendell Burger. Go try it out. Thank me later. And also, they're at the corner of Idlewild and Circle Drive in Saskatoon. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. I'm now having 1/2 a G2G bar a day.
Okay.
It's working, can you tell? I'm cutting my calories.
Is that all you're eating?
That's all that I'm eating. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. Our viewer Caesar writes in and says, what was the stat yesterday? Canada has never won gold when scoring more than 10 goals in the opening game. LOL. Crazy how that works. Middle of the night, I got up to go to the bathroom. I'm that old now. I'm middle of the night peeing years old. And I'm thinking in the bathroom, in the dark, going, maybe we wasted too many goals against Germany.
Should have saved a couple.
Right. I'm like, no. Stats are for losers. Not saying you are, Caesar, but stats remind me of the guy that drowned in the river that had an average depth of 6 inches. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I see? What did I do here?
I don't know.
We got through one segment. We should take one now. We can, right? Now, Clark, we're eligible. The number is up on the screen. The Prairie Mobile text line, 306-840-8777. Whatever you want to talk about, let us know. We'll get into it next with the viewer takeover. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You need to adapt and you need to move forward. You can't be stuck in 1920. Direct West is on the top of their game. They know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when you work with Direct West, things are good. There's no going backwards, they're moving forward. My business would not be where it is today without the help of Direct West to help me with my website and my Facebook and all my online presence. I've worked with Direct West for about 10 years, and it's been a great experience.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-14.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And Moose and the entire crew here as we get into viewer takeover. Man, we got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. So I'm just going to throw up, can we put up the photo of Growler and me, the Coyotes mascot? Our mascot, Ricky, is challenging him to a fight. That's on the ice at Gila River Arena in Phoenix, and I'm wearing my Roger Aldag Rider jersey, which was a wedding present to us from Fofo. But I think some people just wonder if all these stories that I tell, if they're all just made up bunk, and particularly the people that have just become familiar with this show.
Yeah.
It's all true, folks. These stories happened. That's Growler and me. So Growler and Ricky, center ice, let's make it happen. We had the Blue Jays first base coach on from the John Gibbons era last hour, and we never did get into actual Jays free agency talk, but Barry Weeb has written us on Twitter and says, will the Blue Jays sign any free agent of noteworthiness? It's getting boring hearing they're in on all free agents this year. They're going to sign somebody, and this whole George Springer thing, where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Yeah, for sure. Apparently they didn't reach the asking price, but there's a 5-year deal on the table, right? So, yeah, the players, they're in it.
In that photo, Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in and says, are you wearing bell bottoms, Rod? Yes, Jeff, it's called style. You wouldn't know about it.
That was the style back then.
It's called style. You wouldn't know about it. Ray in Toronto, watching from the 6, writes in from the 416, hey, Rod, great interview with Bissonnette. Love Biz Nasty. Rockstar of the day. Keep it going. Ray says keep it going, and that reminds me of a coffee session I had the week of Christmas with a pretty big-name media guy that was in town, and he said, keep doing what you're doing. I said, what is that? We don't know what we're doing. We're 394 shows in, and we don't know what, there's no roadmap.
I know.
He said, continue to trust your gut. So that's what we're doing. We covered the Hockey Saskatchewan tweet, Troy Reich, about they've thrown water on the rumor that the season is going to be canceled by Hockey Canada for the entire country. We covered that way back in the start of hours 1 and hour 2 on point 6. So we got it. Mandy in Edmonton was watching, and she wanted to know the results of the Edmonton team name bracket that we ran prior to Christmas. She went off the grid over holiday. There it is. She didn't know what we named. The viewers voted for the Empire. And failing the Empire, they want the Elk. I'm starting to think I want the Elk over the Empire. But I know for sure I just want a season, and we don't know.
Yeah.
But out of all those things, what comes to mind? The team name, playing?
Yeah.
What, anything?
The team name's interesting. With Washington, I like Washington football team. You know, I kind of think Edmonton could go that route. The hockey tweet's interesting too, because I'm sitting here not knowing what to believe, right? When rumors come up where you say where there's smoke, there's fire. But I can understand where Saskatchewan hockey's coming from too. Whether the rumor's wrong, you put that out there, great. But also, if this rumor's coming up, they're going to be getting a lot of heat too from parents. But you said you're trying to play. Why? But they said we're not going to play. So you come out with it saying, no, we're still working on it. And if it comes down, then the decision happens later, right? So it's so tense, and there's so much, confusion right now. It'll be interesting to see. You said 7 to 10 days, probably the next few weeks, right?
Just a guess. Yeah.
No, for sure. And hopefully some more information will come down on that, and we'll find out what's going to happen with the seasons, because we all want to get back on the ice after watching the World Juniors.
I don't know that we have a face-off today. As a matter of fact, I don't think we do, but just throw up the logo, guys, if you don't mind. Ultimate Fan Zone, home of the home teams. By the way, you can get yourself a Warrior jersey just like this at the Ultimate Fan Zone. I saw them. They have them for sale. Can't get one of these there, though. I'm just reaching over here. These jerseys just happen to be hanging here. I'm reaching for my liner sheet. Where the heck? Oh, yeah, for Mad Greek Restaurant in Moose Jaw. Home for the best authentic Greek cuisine, available for licensed dining, takeout, or delivery, and for the Ultimate Fan Zone, home of the home teams, jerseys, caps, and team apparel. They are your officially licensed fan store in Moose Jaw. I could face off and debate you on the Washington football team. Come on, man. This isn't soccer. They need a team name. Give me a break. There's your face-off in 20 seconds or less. What?
For the most part, yeah. I think there could be one. There could be one. Washington can do it. They can be the one. If another team in the NFL wants to do it, I'm not in. I think there can only be one. Just like you're not going to have two Eagles or two Bears. I know that people are going to say two Rough Riders. But, there can be one. I think there can be one, and it has its place. But
yeah. Oh, the comments are coming like crazy, and I apologize that I can't get to all of them, but just on the hockey thing, because we are a hockey country. As I've been led to believe, I'm kind of tiptoeing here through hot coals, what I can say, can't, and shouldn't. But the thing was this. It was like Hockey Canada wanted to get the World Juniors pulled off, because this stuff isn't easy, by the way. I've been talking to the players and the teams. They're being tested 2 times a day on off days, 3 times a day the day before the game. You know how sick these guys are having a Q-tip shoved up their nose? Do you know how sick they are?
I know.
So this is not easy stuff. You don't see what's going on behind the scenes. And for whatever reason, the leagues don't want you to see it, and that's their prerogative. But then they want to get the NHL season going, and then they want to get the AHL season going, which is February 5th. And then I'm told they want to get the WHL and CHL season going. That's what I'm told. And where the money's going to come from, I'm not at liberty to say, but that private, wealthy donor, that is not going away. Meetings are happening with government. So it is positive, but I can't sit here and say that it's going to happen. Just like the CFL can't sit here and say it's going to happen. They're sending all these positive news messages out, all these positive smoke signals, but there's nothing saying that they're going to play either. But I'm just saying it looks positive for sure, hockey, and I'm talking to more people in hockey than I am in football. And we're Junior A, because everybody's asking about the SJ, the MJ, the AJ. Don't know for sure. Cross your fingers.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow with Jamie Thomas and Clark Gillies. Nice work, Clark. 10 a.m. Central on Facebook Live and noon Eastern here on Game Plus. I had this steak!